Hey y'all. All right, so now today we're going to dig back into the John 8 passage, and we're going to look at John chapter 1. So the last thing we talked about in relation to God as the Father and Jesus bringing in this new paradigm, like this new framework for thinking. That's what a paradigm is. It's something that frames our thoughts, and we have this bubble, right? This circle. And then everything that we think goes inside. So the paradigm is like our parameters that form and mold our views and opinions. And so these Jews that Jesus is talking to in John 8 have never considered God Almighty as Father, which is one reason. I was looking for my notes on Matthew. Must have them in another room. But when Jesus is he teaches in Matthew 6, he says, he's teaching them how to pray, and he says, when you pray like this: Our Father who art in heaven. This was a new concept to them. They'd never experienced God as Father. And that's evident here in this John passage, because when Jesus is talking to them about a father, they immediately go to Abraham. Abraham is our father, and taking pride in that Abraham is our father. And so our lineage and our heritage and our rights and all of that, which is truth based on the law. If you go back into Deuteronomy and Exodus and Leviticus and all of the Torah, the law of the Old Testament, it's totally based on who your father is. And of course, that being Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the father of the 12 tribes of Israel, and it being God's chosen people. And so if you really think about it, even into now, it's still all about who your father is. Like everything in the law was about your lineage, the blessings and the curses, what God could do and would do for you, what he was allowed to do, was all based on lineage, which is why when we were talking about the women that were listed in the genealogy of Jesus, how amazing that is and how important it is to pay attention to all of that genealogy. So we looked at Romans 8:15, which I'm in Acts. Romans is in my Bible. And it says, "For the spirit which you have now received is not a spirit of slavery to put you once more in bondage to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption, the spirit producing sonship, in the bliss of which we cry, Abba," which Abba is Hebrew, and it is the term daddy. It is the endearing, innocent, precious, full of love and excitement, expectation. Like when my kids come in, or when daddy walks in the door and it's daddy, 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 daddy. This, because of the Spirit now living in us, when we become children of God, it's God's Spirit in us that allows us to cry, Abba, 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 Abba. And it's that same spirit of expectation and excitement and love and knowing how much Abba loves us. And it's not because of who our earthly parents are, who my mom and dad are. It's because the Spirit of God lives in me. And so John chapter 1, verses 12 and 13, and we're going to dig into this a little bit this week. So I know we'll start it today, and I'm not sure how far we'll get. So John chapter 1, verses 12 and 13, he says, "But to as many as did receive and welcome him, he gave the authority, power, privilege, and right to become the children of God. That is, to those who believe in, adhere to, trust in, and rely on his name, who owe their birth neither to bloods, nor to the will of the flesh, that of physical impulse, nor to the will of man, that of the natural father, but to God. They are born of God. And this is where we'll pick up and dig into tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.